When Ethan handed me the 19th version of the divorce settlement, I signed. The girl he truly loved was making scenes for official recognition. And her patience had run out. So had mine. I was pregnant. And the child wasn't his. After signing the papers, I immediately snapped a photo and texted Ethan frowny face all set. Should I have Lucas come retrieve them? 20 minutes passed without response. His chat window eerily silent. I was considering same-day courier services when he materialized at my doorstep. Slightly out of breath. He'd come personally. Of course his little songbird had been causing public spectacles for 6 months, demanding status. Desperation suited him poorly. What game are you playing now? His voice carried winter's edge. You've gotten everything we agreed on. 3 years ago, Ethan gave me a wedding. Since then, I'd been Mrs. Young in name only. I'd stood by him through threadbare beginnings to gilded success. But these past 6 months, he'd obsessively redrafted separation agreements 19 iterations, all to clear space for his caged canary. I'd rejected every previous offer. Now that I'd finally signed, suspicion darkened his features. I smiled, extending the documents. His frown deepened as he verified my signature. Sophia, you're actually agreeing? My eyebrow arched. Wasn't this what he wanted? The man who'd complained about my childish jealousy now seemed displeased by my compliance. Did he expect tearful pleas for reconciliation? Isn't this ideal? I countered. You can marry Emily properly now. I get to rebuild my life. The current agreement included real estate, vehicles, and substantial company shares, a king's ransom. I'd accepted without quibble. After nurturing his rise from obscurity, why shouldn't I reap what I'd sown? My existing assets combined with this settlement could fund decades of global luxury. Love had vanished. But wealth remained. Ethan's expression turned complicated. Words caught in his throat. A honeyed voice interrupted our stalemate. Thank you for letting us be together. Sophia. Emily fluttered into view, the songbird he'd placed on a gilded perch. This provincial Cinderella with her middling degree had somehow become CEO's secretary within 3 months of joining competitive young enterprises. Her true talent lay not in administration, but in seducing married men. Ethan claimed Emily was pure and innocent. Always worried I'd take advantage of her. But what kind of innocent person sleeps with a married man and sends explicit photos to his wife? I used to be blind to it, crying hysterically, making scenes. Once I even posted their affair online in a fit of rage. By morning, every trace had vanished. Ethan's methods were always ruthlessly efficient. The cruel joke was that he'd eventually turn those same tactics against me. Now I just felt numb. I stared at the two of them with a sardonic smile, unwilling to waste another word. You got the agreement. Why are you still here? I gestured toward the door. This mansion was legally mine. Ethan had barely stepped foot here since starting his parade of mistresses. Their presence made me want to disinfect the entire house. His face darkened. Sophia. Playing hard to get won't work on me. Don't come crying when you regret signing those papers. He grabbed Emily's arm to leave. Wait. He turned with that smug look, probably thought I'd beg him to stay. Instead I reminded him. Don't forget the wire transfer. And expedite the property transfers. His jaw clenched. Impatient. Aren't we? Desperately impatient. I was pregnant, not with his child. If I didn't cut ties soon, this would explode. At the prenatal clinic, I never expected to see Ethan carefully guiding Emily through the halls. She chattered animatedly while he listened with tender focus. Their intimacy excluding the entire world. Memories flooded back, times when he'd cherished me like that. The last glimpse of that devotion came during my miscarriage at 4 months pregnant. His first mistress had stormed into our home demanding I vacate her spot. When I called her shameless, she sneered about the unloved being the real homewrecker. Her violent shove left me bleeding on marble floors. Waking from surgery, I found Ethan gripping my hand, tears streaking his face. I'm sorry. Soph. I'm garbage, hit me. Scream at me. Just don't. My palm cracked across his cheek. He took the blow without flinching. Only when I'd exhausted myself did Ethan Young speak hoarsely. Just this once. Soph. Give me a chance to make things right? We could still have another child. He'd sent that girl away. Transformed back into the attentive lover. Pity it only lasted 6 fleeting months. By then, newer girls already trailed after him. Over the years, their faces blurred into an ever-changing parade of youth and delicacy features I'd barely registered before being replaced. Emily White lasted the longest. Running into them at the OB/GYN clinic proved particularly awkward. I turned to leave immediately. Emily's saccharine voice stopped me cold. Sophia. What a coincidence. The girl clung to Ethan like human jewelry. Cheeks blooming with faux modesty. We're here for my prenatal checkup. I maintained neutral disinterest. Ethan's gaze locked onto my medical form. Why are you here? My laugh held Arctic frost. Mr. Young. Shouldn't you mind your manners in front of your latest fling? Ex-wives deserve privacy. Unexpected fury darkened his features. He shoved Emily aside. Fingers vice-locking my wrist. Sophia Clark. I'm still your husband. When my wife appears at a pregnancy clinic, husband? I arched an eyebrow. Did our theatrical wedding rewrite legal codes? Check the marriage registry. I've always been single. Realization slammed into him. That lavish ceremony everyone witnessed? The intricate business entanglements? All smoke. 3 years of excuses whenever I mentioned the courthouse sudden meetings. Urgent trips. Yet he found endless hours for divorce lawyers when our empire fractured. His grip turned punishing. The automated announcement saved me, patient Sophia Clark to exam room 5. Ethan reluctantly released me. I brushed past him and Emily, slamming the door lock with finality. The physician reviewed my charts. Bring the father next time. He's dead. My flat declaration froze her typing fingers. Pity flooded her eyes. My condolences, save it. I stood, smoothing my blouse. The bastard's been dead to me for years. I forced a sorrowful smile. Perhaps due to the early stages of pregnancy. I felt utterly exhausted. After returning from the hospital, I'd been sleeping non-stop. In my drowsy state, I drifted through fragmented dreams. The first memory surfaced from my college graduation days, when Ethan's family went bankrupt and he became homeless. We huddled in a cramped studio apartment, his arms wrapping me inside his down jacket until my cheek pressed against his chest. Soph, he'd murmured into my hair. When I make it big, I'll hire 5 assistants for you, 1 to cook, another to do laundry, someone to make the bed. His heartbeat thrummed wildly beneath my ear as I blushed at his promises. Foolishly believing love could conquer all. The dream shifted to his eventual success. Boardrooms replaced our tiny apartment. Crowds swarmed around him like moths to flame. Yet every face blurred into faceless shadows, as transient as Ethan's fleeting affections. The nightmare crescendoed with shattered porcelain, bloodied footprints, and my own broken sobs. Through the chaos, Ethan watched impassively before drawling. Sophia. You're being pathetic. In that moment, the boy I'd loved became unrecognizable, rotten to the core. I awoke to twilight shadows. Disoriented, I pushed myself upright when a familiar baritone sliced through the darkness. So I hear, the voice dripped mockery. You're parading my unborn child around while telling people I'm dead? My breath hitched. Moonlight revealed Alex leaning against the floor-to-ceiling windows, his charcoal suit shimmering silver. He'd been standing there God knows how long, camouflaged in shadows like some predatory creature. Alex. I clutched my chest. Are you trying to give me cardiac arrest? He crossed the room in 3 strides, scooping me against his warmth. Calloused palms slid under my sleep shirt to knead my lower back. Who's really the villain here? Sophia? His breath ghosted over my ear. Equal parts exasperation and something darker. First you vanish after our night together. Now you scheme to disappear with my heir? Alex wasn't wrong. My escape plan involved relocating to some sleepy coastal town, far from Ethan's orbit. And further still from the complicated mess that was Alex. Our beginning hadn't been storybook material. 3 months prior, on my birthday, Ethan had surprised me with dinner reservations. For old-time sake, he'd said, that charming smile never reaching his eyes. The rooftop restaurant glittered with Manhattan's skyline as he presented a decadent chocolate cake. Make a wish, he urged, striking a match. I'd closed my eyes for mere seconds. When they reopened, the candlelit table stood empty, no Ethan. No explanation. Just the hollow echo of happy birthday ringing in my ears. Ethan was gone. I waited for a long while. But he never returned. Eventually, the waiter came to inform me. Mr. Young left abruptly after taking a phone call. He said you should leave after finishing your meal. He's covering all expenses tonight. I watched the candles on the cake burn down to stubs. The cream frosting collapsing into grotesque red smears where happy birthday once stood. A bitter laugh escaped me. After leaving the restaurant, I took a cab to the harbor. Back when we were poor and couldn't afford trips, Ethan used to bring me here constantly. If we can't see new sights, he'd say, at least we can feel the sea breeze. The ocean remained unchanged. But the man had long since transformed. I wandered aimlessly until gasps erupted around me. Oh my God. This is so romantic. Following their gaze, I saw the night sky above the sea illuminated by countless drones forming elaborate cursive frowny face Emily. I love you. Seconds later, artificial blossoms exploded across the heavens dazzling. Beautiful. Passers-by murmured. Which wealthy heir is declaring love tonight? Just another day being an extra in my own life story. Compulsively, I opened social media. Right on cue. Emily's boastful post glared back frowny face. True love means getting a grand gesture whenever I casually mention missing him. The attached photos showed the drone spectacle. Extreme heartbreak turns people feral. I bought bottles of liquor and drank by the crowded shore. Ethan and Emily stood surrounded by oblivious well-wishers, never noticing me watching them for hours. Only when empty bottles surrounded me and my vision blurred did I stagger away. Stumbling along the road beyond the harbor lights, I collided with someone. Careful. Strong hands steadied me. Alex, East Coast tycoon, heir to the Harper Empire. Our business dealings over the years had built 2/3 of my current wealth. Unlike Ethan's constant parade of women, Alex famously kept zero female company. The whole circle joked about him being gay, which he never denied. Sophia? His brows furrowed as he caught my whiskey-scented sway. Why are you this drunk? He smelled clean, like starched linen and mint. No trace of Emily's cloying perfume that always lingered on Ethan. Alex. I slurred, the alcohol loosening my tongue. They say you're into men. Is that true? My tongue felt slightly numb. Probably from the alcohol. Alex froze momentarily before sighing in resignation, carefully helping me into his Rolls-Royce. Maybe it was because he looked exactly my type. Maybe the alcohol had dulled my judgment. Or perhaps I just wanted to indirectly retaliate against Ethan. I silently leaned closer and planted a kiss on Alex's cheek. He turned with startled eyes, his pupils dilating. A faint blush crept across his porcelain skin. Emboldened, I straddled his lap with audacious determination. Alex, I whispered, my lips brushing his earlobe. Want to give this a try? The shell of his ear grew warm beneath my mouth. His voice rumbled above me, gravelly with restraint. Sophia, sober up. I laughed breathlessly. I'm perfectly clear-headed. Don't men like you always chase after pretty young things? I'm bored and you toss women aside. Heat pooled in my core, driving me to seek cooler contact against his body. His brow furrowed, gaze turning stormy. When I tilted my face up again, he didn't pull away. His lips tasted cool and minty, intoxicating enough to make me dizzy. Just as oxygen became scarce, he cradled my head and gripped my waist, forcing the kiss deeper. The soundproof partition rose, sealing us in private darkness. Breaking apart. His voice emerged rougher. Sophia. His Adam's apple bobbed. I don't like men. Or younger women. I blinked, processing the delayed rejection. Bit late for disclaimers after that. Though not blackout drunk. My thoughts swam in honey-thick confusion. The rolls purred to life before I could respond. Soon we arrived at his estate. Alex carried me bridal style through marble foyers up to his bedroom, laying me on silk sheets. He loomed over the bed with dangerous elegance, my gaze fixated on his kiss-swollen lips, the undone collar exposing collarbones that screamed seductive incubus. His mouth curved as he guided my hand beneath his untucked shirt. Sophia. His breath hitched against my temple. Still want this? After receiving a satisfactory response, Alex closed the distance between us, his lips capturing mine in a kiss that felt entirely different from our previous encounters, deep, possessive, and weighted with unspoken intensity. His mouth trailed downward, leaving searing marks as he murmured against my skin. Do you like this, Sophia? My face burned crimson as I clung to him, stubbornly biting back any sound until his relentless rhythm shattered my resolve. Why yes, I finally whimpered into the hollow of his neck, prompting a triumphant chuckle before exhaustion claimed me. He'd vanished by morning. The message was clear. As someone who avoided complications, I respected the unspoken rules. I ghosted him, blocked his number across all platforms, and redirected future business dealings through subordinates. Clean breaks suited us both. Weeks later, panic struck when I missed my period. A memory surfaced, that frenzied night. The forgotten emergency contraception. 5 pregnancy tests later, each displaying 2 damning lines. I stared in disbelief. After my last miscarriage, doctors had warned that conceiving again would be difficult. Yet here I was, Alex's child. Ethics demanded I inform him. But his cold exit haunted me. I drafted exit strategies instead, ending things with Ethan discreetly, securing resources for the baby. Before I could act, Alex materialized in my apartment, his breath hot against my ear. Why block me, Sophia? The accusation simmered beneath his controlled tone. You're not regretting what happened between us, are you? His intensity startled me. Steeling myself, I laid out terms. We're adults, Alex. I take full responsibility for that night. The baby stays. I have more than enough to provide, no need for involvement. If you insist, we'll draft an NDA. His lips froze against my earlobe. You'd raise our child alone? The words vibrated with dangerous calm. And when they ask about their father? If he wants to see his father's photos? I've thought this through thoroughly. I'll tell our child his father died. We can AI generate the photos. And as for the cause of death, let's say a car accident. If you're unsatisfied, feel free to invent a more dignified demise. Of course, if you ever want to visit the kid later, that's fine too. He can just call you uncle. Alex initially frowned, but by the end, he actually laughed in disbelief. Call me uncle? Sophia. What exactly do you take me for? I faltered, struggling to grasp his meaning. Hadn't I already mapped out an exit strategy for him? Why wasn't he satisfied? Alex, I just didn't want to burden you too much. After all, you left pretty abruptly that morning. As I spoke, I studied Alex's expression. Considering other possibilities, could he have discovered the pregnancy and changed his mind about fighting for custody? Alex took several deep breaths before responding wearily. I never considered you a burden. I blinked, startled. A different, absurd suspicion began forming in my mind. His dark eyes locked onto mine as he explained seriously. That day, there was an emergency at my France branch. I had to handle it personally. I left you a note asking you to wait for my return. So you never saw it at all. A note? I genuinely hadn't. Who writes physical notes in this digital age? Besides, I'd been too mortified to linger, scrambling to escape the hotel room without checking the nightstand. Alex continued his indictment. When I tried contacting you later, I found you'd blocked me everywhere. Sophia, did you think I was some shameful secret? I forced an awkward laugh. That's dramatic. We couldn't possibly have gotten married just because we slept together once. He lowered his gaze. Why not? My eyes widened. Are you serious? Alex, Do you want children that badly? He stared at me for a long moment. Exhaustion and something heavier shadowing his features. You can assume it's because I want children. Of course. I didn't agree. This was absurd. Ethan and I had clung to each other through hardship only to end up bitter and estranged after years of entanglement. I refused to leap blindly into another suffocating relationship. Alex didn't push further, though he insisted I unblock all his contacts. He made me promise to notify him about every prenatal appointment. Is this really necessary? I frowned. For a heartbeat, I thought I saw his mask slip, but it might have been my imagination. There was a hint of gritted teeth in Alex's smile as he said, "Didn't you claim I adore children? What kind of child lover would let you attend prenatal checkups alone?" I sighed internally. Fine. I'd respect his biological father rights. Besides, he remained my cash cow in business dealings. Some courtesies needed preserving. From that day, Alex began monitoring my nutrition and wardrobe, gradually accumulating baby supplies. During his European business trip, he even personally wheeled back a handcrafted bassinet from a master artisan, stuffed with diapers, formula, and baby creams. The man seemed genuinely excited about the impending arrival. Weeks later at an auction gala, we encountered Ethan upon entry. Emily clung to Ethan's arm, poorly concealed triumph flashing in her eyes. Meeting my gaze across the room, Ethan froze momentarily at seeing me beside Alex. His lips parted as if to speak, but Emily tugged his sleeve. "Darling, I'm exhausted. Let's sit over there." Her parting smirk could have curdled milk. I ignored them. Pregnancy demanded avoiding toxicity. The auction dragged until my eyes landed on a necklace the exact design I'd coveted for years but never acquired. Starting bid $800,000. I raised my paddle first. Emily mirrored every bid. $1 million. $1,500,000. Ethan's paddle lifted. $3 million. He knew how long I'd desired this. Yet here he was, stealing it for Emily. Her gloating grin confirmed she didn't even want it, merely sought to spite me. $3 million. Going once, twice. My paddle stayed down. Alex squeezed my hand, murmuring, 500. I gripped his wrist. 500 what? Are you insane? His baffled expression could have won awards. $500,000's reasonable for something you love. I snorted. Reasonable? Spoken like someone who's never counted pennies. When you've truly been destitute, $5 million feels astronomical. Hell, people kill for $5 when desperate. But how would Alex Harper, Silver Spoon royalty, ever grasp that? I shook my head. Let's not argue. I don't like losing investments. Ethan's $3 million bid far exceeded the necklace's actual worth. If he wants to play the sucker, let him. After all, Ethan already signed the asset division agreement. Every cent he spends now comes from his own share. $3 million might be pocket change, but it adds up. I can't wait to see him bleed himself dry. $3 million. Going once, twice, sold. The auction hammer fell. The gavel's echo sealed the deal. As the crowd filed out, Emily deliberately positioned herself beside me. Feeling bitter. Sophia? She simpered. Ethan just couldn't resist when he saw how much I wanted it. Want to borrow my new trinket? Ethan watched silently from her elbow, his habitual indulgence letting Emily parade her victories before me yet again. My lips twitched. Keep it. I never cared for cast-offs. Then again, I glanced meaningfully at Ethan. Your taste was never particularly refined. Ethan's complexion darkened. Sophia. He growled. When did you become so vicious? It's just a necklace. I'll buy you 10 if it matters that much. I met his glare steadily. Save your money. Like you said, it's just jewelry. I have plenty. He faltered. Perhaps finally remembering I am a jewelry designer. The seed money for his startup came from the $1 million I earned selling my first collections rights. That night he'd held me with tear-reddened eyes, vowing to shower me with gems. Instead, I got a mediocre solitaire. For years as his girlfriend, 3 as Mrs. Young. Swindled out of my prime years for cubic zirconia promises. Promises are only true when made. Hearts change faster than auction bids. Love's endurance depends entirely on conscience. Now he has his empire. I have mine. My jewelry brand dominates global markets. What I want, I buy. Haven't needed him for years. Ethan seemed lost in memory, his gaze softening with unexpected regret when our eyes met. Alex's broad shoulders abruptly blocked his view. Mr. Young, Alex drawled. Didn't realize you developed a taste for herbal tea. His emphasis made the insult clear. Emily stiffened at the veiled green tea reference. Her smile turned rigid enough to crack porcelain. Alex, I interrupted. We're leaving. Calling him by his name in public seemed to please Alex. He smiled faintly. I thought this would finally bring peace. But Ethan suddenly changed his mind. I keep my phone on silent while sleeping. That morning, I woke to more than 30 missed calls and 99 plus WeChat notifications, all from Ethan. Sophia. We need to talk. I'm coming to see you. No one's home. Where are you? What exactly were you checking at the OBGYN last time? Are you pregnant? If you are, I'll reconsider the separation. I'll wait at your door until you respond. Soph, why weren't you home all night? Why did you fire all the staff? Because I'd moved out months ago. The penthouse held too many memories of him. So I'd sold it. When Alex learned about my situation, the baby's father generously offered his private island villa with round-the-clock medical staff. Tropical breezes. Pristine beaches, perfect for prenatal rest. I accepted without hesitation. Any fool would. If Alex wanted parental rights, he'd better pay up. Equivalent exchange. We'd developed this understanding. As for Ethan, our divorce settlement still had multiple properties pending transfer. Backing out now? Impossible. I returned his call immediately. His voice sounded ragged through the receiver. Sophia. The former housekeeper mentioned you taking prenatal supplements. If this is true, maybe we could. I lost patience. Can't even pop vitamins without staff snitching. Thankfully I'd prepared for this. Ethan. I cut him off coldly. I am pregnant. But when did I say it's yours? The line went dead silent except for his ragged breathing. After an eternity. He hissed, what the hell does that mean? Sophia? When Ethan finally tracked me down, I was playing with Daisy, the golden retriever Alex adopted to keep me company. She basked contentedly at my feet until his shadow fell over us. You're really here? Ethan choked out, staring at my visible bump. This entire island belongs to the Harpers. Doesn't it? His gaze burned holes through my maternity dress. When exactly did you? I tilted my head with a smile. Remember my birthday? The night you left halfway through to propose to Emily with that drone? Ethan's eyes widened in disbelief. His voice trembled as he spat out. Sophia. We're not even broken up yet. And you're already cheating on me? In his eyes, I was the betrayer who deserved condemnation. I scoffed. What about all those years when you cycled through lovers like seasonal trends? When you got Emily pregnant? Did you ever think of me? He stood frozen, guilt stripping him of excuses. Finally, he rasped. Soph, get rid of the baby. Let's stop this madness. We'll go to City Hall. Get married. Build a proper life. Get rid of it? I stared him down. After my miscarriage left me nearly infertile? You of all people don't get to decide this. He swayed, pain flashing across his face. Fine. Keep it. Once you recover, we'll have our own. Are you hearing yourself? I gaped at him like he'd sprouted horns. Red-rimmed eyes met mine as he bargained. Soph, I'll claim this child as mine. For you. A derisive snort cut through the tension. Alex strode in, loosening his collar. You? Playing father to my child? His laugh was ice wrapped in velvet. Ethan. You think you're worthy? The room crackled with hostility. The moment Ethan saw Alex, he lunged like a rabid animal. Alex. You. Bodyguards intercepted him before he could reach the sofa where Alex sat. Legs casually crossed. Frost coated every word as Alex spoke, leave voluntarily. Or get dragged out. Choose. I blinked in surprise. The famously composed Harper heir had never publicly humiliated anyone. Not even rivals. Defeated and alone. Ethan staggered up and thrust a blue velvet box at me. I didn't need to open it, the necklace Emily took from me. His whisper cracked, happy belated birthday. Sophia. That day at the auction. I didn't actually want to take what you loved. I just wanted to make you jealous. To get you to soften up and come back to me. I got the necklace back for you. I'll have Emmy terminate the pregnancy. Didn't you love this necklace? Let's start over. Okay? Yes. I used to love it so much. He knew that perfectly well. Yet still helped Emmy use it to humiliate me. He also knew how devastated I was every time I begged him through tears. Yet he kept hurting me over and over. It's lost its charm now. I said evenly. The necklace. And you. Neither holds any appeal anymore. Ethan's face turned ashen. Sophia. Stop being stubborn. Do you really mean to end things between us? The irony almost made me laugh. He'd been the one wielding the knife all along. Since when did he get to play the victim? Watching his red-rimmed eyes. I pulled my sleeve from his grasp. You destroyed this relationship with your own hands. Ethan. If we're ending it, let's make it clean. Don't make me lose respect for you. 3 days later at the notary office. We finalized the asset division. Ethan looked haggard. Dark circles bruising his under-eyes from sleepless nights. Not that his well-being concerned me anymore. As we parted ways, Ethan seemed to want a final word. But before he could speak, Emmy materialized. Her usual sweet facade shattered into furious disbelief. Ethan. She's carrying another man's child. Why give her so much? Her shrill voice carried across the lobby. I thought it was just severance pay. But that $8 million mansion too? What about me and our baby? I arched an eyebrow. Poor Emmy didn't realize these weren't mere parting gifts. Every business deal Ethan ever made carried my stake. Without my early investments, there'd be no Ethan Young empire. I was simply claiming what I'd earned. Moreover, she'd overplayed her hand. Ethan's passions burned bright but brief. Her perfect girlfriend mask had slipped too soon. You won't get away with this. Sophia. Emmy lunged at me. Manicured claws outstretched. Enough. Ethan grabbed her arm. His voice cracking like a whip. Stop embarrassing yourself. Emmy froze mid-lunge. Tears welling as she hurled her LV bag at him. Embarrassing? You're defending her even after breaking up? As curious onlookers gathered, Ethan's expression hardened into disgust. With a final glare at both of us, he turned and strode through the gawking crowd without looking back. Even if I don't marry Sophia Clark, I'd never marry you. Emily was stunned by the outburst. A second later, panic flashed across her face as she rushed to grab Ethan's hand. But Ethan coldly shook her off. Stay away from me. The accident happened instantly. Emily had stubbornly kept wearing her designer goat leather heels throughout pregnancy, using them as trophies of Ethan's affection. The forceful rejection made her miss a step, sending her tumbling down the stone stairs. She lay crumpled at the bottom, clutching her stomach with a ghostly pale face. The baby, Ethan. It hurts. Blood bloomed crimson between her legs. My breath caught. This was exactly how I'd lost mine and Ethan's child years ago. Was this cosmic justice? That faithless men shouldn't know fatherhood? Or perhaps unborn children sense when they're unwanted, choosing to leave rather than enter loveless worlds. The commotion inevitably alerted the Harpers about Alex and me. Next morning, old Mr. Harper summoned Alex home, specifically requesting me. During the car ride, Alex reassured me his grandfather was reasonable. I believed him. From the moment we entered the mansion, the patriarch's thunderous brows never relaxed. Though leaning on an ivory cane at 80, his presence dominated the vaulted hall. Kneel. The command echoed. Without hesitation, Alex shrugged off his suit jacket and dropped to the marble floor. The impact made me flinch. Was I expected to kneel too? But Grandpa Harper's expression transformed when seeing me. Don't be frightened, dear. He beamed, suddenly grandfatherly as he guided me to an embroidered sofa. Just sit and watch me discipline this rascal. Bewildered, I let the housekeeper settle me beside the jade tea service. Alex caught my eye, mouth quirking in reassurance. Clearly this was routine for him. I see Sophia's seated. Maybe I could, Alex began. The cane came down hard on his back before he finished. Impudent whelp, Grandpa Harper roared. Forgotten our family teachings? All those fine matches we arranged. And you chase after, the cane whistled again. The outcome? He went and slept with a perfectly respectable girl. What a disgrace to the family. Grandpa Harper kept ranting while whacking his cane harder. I stood frozen, stunned that anyone still resorted to family discipline in this day and age. Alex, this powerful figure who commanded respect in the business world, now knelt obediently under his grandfather's beating. Grandpa Harper. I tried intervening. This really isn't Alex's fault. That night, I was the one who drank too much and initiated. Don't defend him. The old man cut me off, cane trembling with fury. You were drunk. But what's his excuse? If he hadn't wanted it, nothing would have happened. This brat took advantage of you. The cane struck with sickening thuds. After a dozen blows, scarlet blooms began seeping through Alex's white dress shirt. I grabbed the cane mid-swing. Stop. You'll kill him. Grandpa Harper tried wresting the cane back when Alex suddenly stood, shielding me with his body. Beat me all you want. But don't push Sophia around. She's carrying your great-grandchild. The cane froze mid-air. Grandpa Harper's wrinkled face transformed from rage to wonder. Baby? My little heir? Alex blinked bloodshot eyes. You dragged me here for punishment without knowing she's pregnant? Turned out the old man only knew half the story. I'd come prepared for a custody battle. But after hearing the full account, Grandpa Harper immediately demanded wedding dates. Grandpa Harper. I hedged. I don't plan to marry anytime soon. The patriarch glared at his grandson like he wanted to restart the beating. Useless brat. Can't even win over your woman? Heat flooded my cheeks as Alex chuckled behind me. My fault. I'm trying harder. That night, Grandpa Harper ran out of guest rooms and shoved us into Alex's minimalist black and white suite. My breath hitched when Alex peeled off his bloodied shirt, revealing livid welts across pale skin. As I applied ointment to his wounds, fingertips tracing heated flesh, his quiet inhale made my own temperature spike. Ethan Young spoke suddenly, his voice hoarse. Grandfather always hoped I'd marry. His enthusiasm might seem excessive, but please don't mind. I murmured in understanding. Elderly folks naturally yearn for grandchildren. After applying the ointment, I leaned back and casually scanned the room. My breath caught when I spotted cufflinks on the dresser. Alex, I whispered, picking them up with trembling fingers. How do you have these? His gaze lingered on the jewelry before meeting mine. After a weighted silence, he lowered his lashes. You gave them to me. That's impossible. My voice rose. I sold these 8 years ago. Alex took the sapphire-studded accessories, inhaling deeply. 8 years ago. A college girl sold me these at a street stall. 6 sapphires and white diamonds with exquisite craftsmanship rivaling haute couture pieces. Yet she only charged $100. His thumb traced the intricate metalwork. She said they were original designs. Not worth much. Needed money for her boyfriend's phone. A bitter smile twisted his lips. I thought her beautiful but naive. For months I'd detour past her stall, watching her hawk handmade jewelry. Had she been single, he trailed off, eyes clouded with memory. After graduation, I left for Europe. Never imagined her creations would surface at Christie's years later. Then she walked into my office with her jewelry line proposal. His voice softened like twilight seeping through curtains. Watching her approach my desk, that dormant attraction reignited. For years I maintained professional distance, knowing her heart belonged to another. Until that night she stumbled into my arms, lips tasting of champagne and heartbreak. Golden lamplight caught the silver strands at his temples as he cradled my face. You kissed me first. Sophia. Did you really think I'd let go after that? The confession hung between us like suspended stardust before his lips claimed mine. Years later, our daughter's laughter fills the house. Claire bears my surname, Claire Clark. Alex remains constant, though I've declined 3 proposals. Once caged by marriage, I now cherish hard-won freedom. Love and legal bonds needn't intertwine. Society speculates endlessly, from dubbing Alex New York's most eligible bachelor to circulating rumors about his sexuality. He corrects them patiently at every charity gala. I'm neither gay nor single. Ms. Clark simply prefers keeping her independence. At parent-teacher conferences, other mothers whisper about the silver fox who brings me coffee during school plays. Their curiosity mounts when they spot the sapphire cufflinks glinting at his wrists, matching the pair I wear during design presentations. Let them wonder. Some love stories defy conventional templates. I still have my daughter. My daughter is absolutely beautiful. Old Mr. Harper, still spry and sharp-tongued, would often chide Alex with exasperation. Sure. You have a girlfriend and a daughter, but no wife. And your daughter still calls you uncle. Z had known since she was little that Alex was her father. But she clung to me relentlessly. Whenever Alex came over, he'd insist on sharing my bed, acting needier than the child herself. Z would end up being coaxed away by her grandmother. That's why she deliberately called him Uncle Alex. Uncle Alex, feeling wronged by his daughter, would come crawling to me at night with puppy dog eyes. He'd hold me close, planting kiss after kiss, whining dramatically, Sophia, you heartless woman. When will you finally make an honest man out of me? I'd lazily poke his abs while he gripped my waist. That depends on your performance tonight. And my mood tomorrow. Alex would grumble that I only ever gave him empty promises. The next second, he'd bury his face against me, kissing with redoubled intensity. Later, I heard from a friend that Ethan Young had died. After Emily lost the baby, she clung desperately to Ethan, refusing to let go. She threatened to make him marry her and take care of her for the rest of his life. Ethan had long grown tired of her and refused to give in, even trying to fire her from the company. Cornered, Emily abused her position to leak company secrets to competitors and dug up financial irregularities within the firm. Ethan was driven to distraction, first losing major contracts, then collapsing under broken capital chains until the company went bankrupt. He loathed her with every fiber of his being. During a vicious argument, in a fit of rage, he accidentally pushed her off a balcony. Perhaps seeing no way out. Utterly broken, Ethan jumped after her. I responded with a non-committal "oh," feeling not the slightest ripple of emotion. Hearing his name after all these years felt like recalling something from a past life. My friend sighed, you two were so perfect in college. I remember Ethan bringing you lunch every day, tutoring you. Completely inseparable. Back then, every girl in the dorm knew how madly he loved you. How could someone so wonderful just rot away like that? I listened quietly, as if hearing about a stranger. Mommy. Mommy. Come play. Not far away. My daughter waved at me. Alex was playing frisbee with her and the dog. I hurriedly hung up and took the frisbee from her hands, hurling it into the distance. The dog bounded freely across the grass as my daughter laughed with delight. Alex looked over at me, his gaze infinitely tender. A perfect moment suspended in time.